Yeah.
Well, like not the waking up, but the regular time. You know, I can't. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
let me change some settings. Okay, do introduction and stuff. Already, come on. People are waiting.
Well, I thought you were doing. I don't want you to go if you don't have your sentence set. What if people miss the intros? What if you don't do your
Nah,
fancy swirl? All right, bottom right hand side. So you have a team kill in the match before the qualifying match. It is Team Envy's Bunny in the bottom right of Lightshade.
Team of V's bunny. And in the top left, spawning as the Red Zerg, after just absolutely taking apart Beyond, it is DRG. Am I lagging, or is the game lagging?
Probably you. Korean
Nice.
servers suck lately, so
Yeah, it is what it is, Wardy.
that's a hell of a scout on the proxy racks.
Did he get it immediately?
Yes, instantly saw the proxy racks coming down. Like, the drone is here, but like almost before the second racks went down. Like, Bunny almost could have just not built the second racks. Now he's got Canceller, which is obviously very sad. He actually brought a third SCV too, so he wanted a 3 racks, and well, I mean, now you've got 3 SCVs to build 1 barracks. That ain't very good, huh?
No, that ain't very good. He might not even be able to finish that. Will
Yeah,
he? I don't think so. If he doesn't get the finish, the game is over. Right? Like, he might as well just leaves.
He's gonna be super behind if nothing else, right? So.
4th SCV arriving as well.
No, but he's just lost another one.
Already.
Oh
yeah,
no.
He's dead. He's dead. He just needs to leave at this point. Yep. Cancels the barracks. He's gonna play barracks into CC, I guess. I guess that's the only way, no?
Yeah, I mean, but even that sucks, right? Like, I don't even know what you really do. I mean, like, yes, because he's gonna have the money to build a CC, but then he's just a bit behind. Well, yeah, then he's dead.
You hate to see it.
All right, so you joined the. I've had really good games all day. You joined, and it's complete shit. What happened?
Well, using the hard S word.
I'm in a bit of a sweat. I've been up early, so I'm tired. I'm not thinking straight.
No, I like it. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I was watching a little bit of the DRG Beyond game, and it looked kind of intense. Beyond does tend to stay in very long, though, doesn't he? He does not like leaving early.
He doesn't like leaving early. He stays in the game as long as he stays on bio. It's impressive. There's 2 things he just doesn't stop doing, you know?
Yeah, making Marines and Marauders and...
Yeah, Marines and Marauders and staying in the game.
Yeah, wow.
He likes to fly it,
Cheryl, though, which is impressive, even with ping.
Yeah.
People always meme on ping, and actually, today, earlier I saw I had 380 ping, so if Sarah also had 380 ping, I can kind of feel it, but...
Yeah, apparently still had like 250 to 300.
Yeah.
But, the game, did you see the games of Beyond Against Sarah?
No, of course not.
No, they, I obviously, like, I know obviously it's still nice to be someone with ping, but like Cyril obviously played as though he had ping, right? Like he played straight at roaches and stuff. And Bjorn just played like complete like anti-roach. He just like super mega dropped from like the start of the game. He set up like 2-1-1, and he didn't even like push with the 2-1-1. He just started dropping with the 2-1-1. So I felt like it really like he like really hard counted. And then second game it was roaches again. He just went banshees right away, and it was very apparent that Bjorn very much so knew what Cyril was going to do. So.
Yeah, it's always painful when that happens. All right, 4 roaches going to move across the map. There's absolutely nothing here.
A Reaper just left, right?
Yeah, the Reaper's in the mineral, yeah. I mean, it's a Reaper and it's going to be 4 cars.
Well, he gets us around the roaches.
That's actually kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Like if he can keep kiting, he just wins the game here straight up. Like it still is going to be a good situation now, but honestly,
I mean that's not bad to be honest. I'm impressed. Yeah. Oh, he uses 2 more to the bile. That's sad. Oh, there's 1 Ravager at the end doing so much.
Yeah, 13 workers killed. It's 18 workers against 33. There's no 3rd CC either, so it is still a very painful situation, but had DRG micro this correctly, we would be looking at 9 SCVs or something like that, because there was just absolutely 0 DPS in the army of Bunny. But roaches are pretty tanky, so it would have lasted a while. A lot of more mining denial as well. I still think it's going to be absolutely fine. These 4 cars are going to try something. There is 4 links, and they block the entry into the main base. 4 queens will be able to clean it up, and now there is no more Hellions left either, which is really painful if you're playing a 2 gas before triple CC opener.
Yep. You are just in so much trouble. So yeah, 2 bases, so he doesn't even have that much SCV rebuild. He's down by about 12, and now no map control at all. And he's going to have no map control for a while. Like maybe this medevac can take some units on the map, but don't think that's going to go very well for him either. I mean, DRG will see it and he can just make units himself.
Yeah, it's just gonna be really painful. I feel like at this point DRG could almost just make 25 links, walk across the map and kill Bunny. And the funny thing is that Bunny probably is the one that wants to be aggressive, but I don't even think he can beat the queens. Like, yeah, it's just really painful. What a start though. Interesting location as well of that first barracks. Kind of meta gamey, right? If the other guy doesn't send an OV across the map, and then Luke's on like the left side first, which is a very common location. Like if you have that line third base or that line fourth base, or whatever you want to call it, it's very often behind there. Especially people like Dream have been putting it. I think every single time he plays this map, he just puts barracks there. It's like it's not even the question if he's gonna put them or where he's gonna put them. He's just gonna do it. Yeah, now we have a 5 Marine drop without stim. To make matters even worse, there's no second and third barracks yet. I mean, we're 6 minutes in game and the third CC just started. 1-1 is on the way already, and barracks 2 and 3 haven't even started yet for Bunny.
He's gonna have a 1-1 roach push before the stim. So
yeah, before the stim starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really painful. I like what he's doing here, though. I mean, this really is the only chance he can get something done, right? There's no way that he can wait for stim right now, so instead he just builds a lot of units from the production facilities that he does have. DRG wants to go for a run by, but there is a full wall there, and with 4 Marines, I do believe Bunny should be capable of finishing that command center. DRG thinks of that analysis and says, yep, that's correct indeed, and well, I mean, he just needs to defend at this point. It's going to be relatively easy. 2 more Ravagers on the way. Tanks are now getting picked up. What's he gonna do? Oh, he moves them back a little bit. DRG is just gonna crush this if he wants to, no?
Yeah, he's gonna kill this Liberator. Gets a few drones, but obviously DRG can spare some drones if he needs to, and yeah, we are just taking ever closer to 1-1 roaches. And the moment 1-1 roaches is up, they will just destroy anything in their path because there is not an army to deal with that. So, yeah, that's yeah, time is ticking. But I mean, yeah, not much you can do about it.
Yeah, time definitely is ticking, and I think time just ran out. That tank is going to get saved. So is the second tank, so that's nice at least. DRG isn't at the highest worker count, currently only at 55. Bunny does have 48 workers, and we've been memeing a little bit, but 3 barracks are up. There's going to be 4 tanks at home, and I feel like DRG really wants to finish this very badly. I'm not sure if he really needed to, because right now, if Bunny survives on 2 base, which is a possibility he does, he at least has an okay eco. There's no 4th base here. I mean, isn't it possible that he survives here?
Is it possible he survives here?
4 tanks?
4 tanks, I suppose
full
so.
wall?
Yeah, I suppose so. I can see it. The full wall, 4 tanks. Let's see. He's going to go forward. First bars will get a tank very quickly. And the second tank getting biled, but I think only 1 bile. Yeah, he's actually going to hold. But can he actually, I mean, what do you do? Like, can you ever slowly push out to your 3rd base? Well, DRG's going to attack in again. I didn't think he was going to. I thought DRG might just stay hanging back for a bit, but okay. I mean, drop across the map as well, so you're going to put some counter pressure on? Yeah, I can see it for Bunny now.
I feel like DRG kind of was playing like we were talking.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this game is completely over. There's no way I lose this. But he just completely quit building workers. Now it's like, oh crap, I'm gonna get my carapace upgrade, but he doesn't have a 4th hatchery yet. So even building drones at this point isn't that useful. Bunny's already going to be able to. Oh, can he really establish this 3rd base? He does have stim, a couple of tanks on the high ground.
He's got a lot of tanks on the high ground, and even when one goes down, he still has 3 tanks firing. If he can get rid of those roaches, and I feel like he target fired the Ravagers, but I feel like maybe it would have been better to just kill the roaches in the front. I don't know if I saw that right, but he loses all the tanks trying to defend this, but he will defend it. Loses 16 SCVs in the process, which is maybe the damage that DRG needs just to stay ahead.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't lose the tanks or doesn't lose the SCVs, this is completely fine, but losing both is not the way. Perhaps waiting for 1-1 would have been the better play, but to be honest, if I'm Bunny, I also want to get that 3rd base ASAP, because he didn't know if there was a hatchery on the bottom side, right? There could have been a 4th base with 75 workers, because let's be real, Bunny was really far behind, but it's not over yet. He's going to get a couple of Liberators. Maybe wants to do a 1-1 push here. There's no armory on the way. There's not a whole lot of creep here. There's not a whole lot of creep, Wardy.
I think he did know about the lack of a 4th, because he had a drop there, so
Oh.
Maybe could have made a better decision, but maybe I think maybe he didn't know if there wasn't one at the top when he actually made the push out. Maybe so. So he knew about the bottom, but maybe not the top. So same idea, just different place.
Yeah. Fair point.
Marines gonna make that stim in. I mean, they find a group of roaches, which to be fair, as a group of roaches these Marines easily win against, and these are the trades that will keep Bunny going. As he does come through, kills them all off. I mean, he's gonna actually get a good chance of canceling his 4th base, and DRG without a 4th base is genuinely in some trouble still. And that's where Bunny will stay in this game, with a 3rd base now up and starting to mine a little bit. He is making progress.
Yeah, he's actually outmining his opponent at this moment, of course, with the help of mules. Liberators, I thought it was going to be for a 1-1 push. And I think Bunny also wanted to 1-1 push, but then he saw the lack of a 4th and was like, well, if you don't have a 4th, I can just throw down an armory. So right now he's building bunkers. And isn't Bunny almost ahead?
Yeah, the only thing I worry about a little bit, I guess, is upgrades, but then his composition is just so much better anyway that maybe upgrades don't matter as much. It's very rare you see like 2-2 Roach Ravage against like 1-1 Marine tanks, so not sure exactly how that works out, but if DRG attacks into this, I mean, this is just so many tanks to Liberator support. It's so annoying because if you pile down that Liberator, that's less biles you have for the siege tanks, right? I don't even think Bunny needed to pull the SCVs in here. I think he could have just stimmed in and chased those Ravages down completely.
Yeah, still very scary though for Bunny, because yeah, he did lose a lot of tanks earlier. There is 5 tanks once again, but now he's really defending 2 locations, so not all tanks will be able to shoot everywhere. The low ground tank are now a little bit of a rotation towards the low ground. Marines are out of position though. Marines and Marauders are out of position. I think Bunny is looking for pickups here on the reinforcement side out of DRG. He's gonna get a couple of roaches. Has the ability to pick up all of these units, I believe. Oh, a little bit of a sloppy flank here. Bunny does correct himself. Gonna lose a bunch of bio, which I don't think that was quite necessary. Still hasn't started his 2-2 either, and 2-2 really is something that he is going to need at some point if he wants to start trading with Marines against Roaches and Ravagers. Starts armor first.
Why does everyone keep starting armor first? Like, I know Bjorn does it because he just presses the button wrong or something, but like, is this a thing? Like, it's...
No, it's not.
I know it's not a thing, but like, these guys are starting to make me think so. It's like my 3rd TvZ in a row where it's happened. Like, what happens for you to start armor first? I just don't get it.
Yeah, the hotkeys aren't even that close, are they?
No, it's like...
Unless maybe you use the
You use different
grid.
hotkeys, and you just hit
hit
armor first, because it's... I don't even know, though. Maybe?
Maybe Terran players just smash the hotkeys with their fist because they have so little hotkeys. They're like no spellcasters.
Army is going to get cleaned up, but of course has the mobility. One of the big issues with the Roach Ravager army is always going to be drop defense and being able to move around to deal with these drops. But he's already moving an army up the left side as well, so taking a decent fight in the main, he can obviously lift up and go elsewhere, as he's already stimmed into the natural. We'll just get a spore there, clearing up his evacuation pathway. And yeah, just gives himself a good chance to deal some damage. The big thing is just obviously not sticking around too long and losing these units. The real power is being able to keep those units alive and using them again and again, just recycling their usage over time is very important for those drops.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, but he got a big goodie supply block there, and he tried to wait for his command center, then threw down the, what you call it, a call down depot, and on top of that started a couple of depots as well. He had a 157 with 157 for like 45 or 50 seconds or something like that, so it was a little bit painful. He's gonna get a 4th base now though, vehicle weapons level 1, Vipers are out, and that might actually be a bit of an issue, but there's still tunneling claws as well, right? But I don't think Bunny's ever going to move out, and DRG isn't really spreading creep. He's only on 4 queens. He has awful creep spread, no offense. But little offense, actually.
Yeah, his creep's been a bit rough, as we do see Roaches obviously trying to be a little bit annoying here. They did manage to sneak by, and just that little bit of annoyance, 7 more workers going down. It's not like Bunny is in the greatest position for losing workers and stuff, so that definitely still affects him. Double scan has to be dropped too. I mean, that stuff does really add up in a game like this one. Is Bunny is essentially going to have this 2-2 army. He probably gets towards maxing out. And then is that kind of it? Like, you know, it kind of feels like he's still only got 44 SCVs, right? I understand like it's late in the game, so maybe he doesn't need many more. And I guess he's got a 4th base. So I feel like he just needs like 10 or so more workers again.
Yeah, look, yeah, and he wants to rebuild them right now. We see a couple more roaches coming in. DRG doing a good job. Is building himself a little bit of a bank as well here, and is on 8 gas. Wants to be getting into those lurkers. Starts killing his own roaches at home as well, probably to more of a couple more lurkers. And then leave 7 supply empty. Love to see it. This is a big push, but this is a huge army. What's the army supply here? It's 139
40.
against 125. That's big.
Yeah, a couple of lurkers trying to burrow up, but 2 go down before they burrow. But obviously even just a few burrowing should deter this army from still pushing in, but those lurkers not quite reaching the bio for a while there. There's a nice Viper. First Abduct comes down, and it's just not really a response to Vipers right now. He hits a medevac with the next Abduct instead of a siege tank, though, so that's an Abduct wasted. The highest energy Viper is very low HP, so might have to be cautious. This base might actually be dying. There is one Viking that can maybe go for that Viper. He's going to go for it. He's going to get it before it can cast. And he loses the hatchery. And Bunny is overwhelming on this top side.
Yeah, good scan as well here. He's actually trading so freaking well against this army. 3-3 not done yet, of course, is helping him. There is a replacement 4th base, but there's no 5th base right now for DRG. DRG is still at a higher worker count, but the mules are putting in the work as well. And once again, Bunny's actually outmining his opponent. This is a little bit embarrassing for DRG, who had a sure win in this game. And is now... I still think he's in an okay position, because 3-3 hasn't started yet for Bunny, but he needs to... He's struggling.
Yeah, I feel like DRG has, he's still almost stuck a little bit on what he's playing with, and I know he's got lurkers, but it doesn't feel like they're having much use because these libs are already up, and there's only one Viper here that can abduct in, so 2 libs are still sieging. You've got to attack in, but then the tanks get some good trades. And DRG at least has that left side base up and running, right? So that's a big deal, but it's 4 base against 4 base. Bunny has been trading way better throughout. And as Bunny starts up a Ghost Academy now, he is just setting himself up for an even better army against what DRG is playing. So, still kind of like it for Bunny. Obviously, 3-3 being done from DRG is something that will help him out, and one thing that Bunny just hasn't really thought of yet.
Yeah, and also the problem is that his work count is still really low. I understand that because he's kind of maxed out on mining anyway. But it probably just means he needs a 5th base and 10, 12 extra workers to really be able to trade a little bit here, because every trade is so painful. He's not close to maxing out yet, and with his income it's going to take a while. Right now he's pushing the top side as well as trading on the bottom side. A couple of tanks are going to be going down, and these haven't been very good trades for him. He's going to try for a single drop now into the main base. There's a couple of spores in position, and I think this will get thwarted pretty easily here by DRG.
Yeah, shut down real easy as DRG gonna push down this bottom side, and he is gonna get a lurker in position. The tank isn't quite far enough forward to deal with that. DRG's just got a hold on the top side now, can obviously turn this into aggression on the other direction. He's gonna run into a lot of bio there. Corrosive Bile's gonna get rid of the first Liberator. The other one will get rid of the lurker. Is that just too much DRG? Because he just has so much on the offense, while Bunny now has to pull some of his own attack back home to maybe defend. He doesn't have any tools to stop the lurkers from moving further forward. DRG is finally going to make this kind of game turn back in his favor. Bunny's been the one pressuring and doing a lot of good things for the last 5, 6, 7 minutes, but DRG just managed to outlast Bunny in the end and finally got up to this one big force that could actually push around, and like I say, had a good defense followed by the counter, which Bunny wasn't really prepared for at all.
Yeah, and now the lurkers are here. There's no more tank level. Single tank in the natural. GG gets called, and DRG wins game number 1. And has quite the path so far, and we all know that ain't the hottest thing in the world.
Hey, I've been counting real good lately, mate.
Yeah,
I got 4 the other day.
Nice. Proud of you. All right. Game number 2. Spawning in the bottom right as the Red Terran playing for Team NV. It's going to be Bunny.
And in the bottom left, also playing for Team NV, it is DRG.
Oh, Wardy. Blackburn is the map. Talk to me about Blackburn, Wardy. This is the map that is so beautiful and that Terrans don't want to claim. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you talk to Zergs, they say, yeah, this is a really good Terran map, but then you talk to Terrans and they don't want to claim it as a good map for them. But they always play it. And the way to get them, if people say that it's not that great of a map, you just always play off-race on them against it. And then they can't complain, you know? They say, hey, what do you think is a good neutral map for ZVT? And then when they're playing Zerg, they can't complain about Blackburn, so he always hosts Blackburn. It really is great to have that, a map like that. I had it against Special, where before he was saying that Blackburn is a very good Zerg map, or it's a completely fine map for Zerg. Then I played some off-race against him, and obviously I picked Blackburn, and he can't complain. And they want to, because like deep down they know that that's a good Terran map, because it is a good Terran map. Ooh, this is a nice little trick here out of Bunny. Look at hiding the barracks.
Yeah, this has become
like
really
the
common
Easter Bunny.
the last few
Look
days.
at the Easter Bunny. Look at. I was gonna just call him the Easter Bunny until I realized he was Bunny. He's hiding things here. That is great.
Yeah, this
It's not even Easter anymore. When is Easter usually, Wardy? Is it
April?
in May or something?
Yeah, April, May.
What do we celebrate during Easter?
It's not like the rebirth of Christ or something.
I have no clue, dude. I was actually asking. I don't know.
I think it's this resurrection or something. It's something like that. It's something to do with that, I think.
Okay, nice. See, a lot of biblical knowledge here, but shared between the two of us.
Yeah, my religious education classes really went well, 15 years ago.
Wait, you actually had religious education?
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
We got to choose between like 3. So you could either do like the Bible study, I think it was. Then you had the Islam study, and we had humanism as well, which I went for humanism. And I actually have no clue what we did, but all the others, they had to like remember verses and like passages from the Bible, but we just kind of spoke about what we did in our week. We had a way better time.
We never,
it's fantastic.
We never got examined in it. It was just like more of like a general one. We only had like one lesson of it a week, and it wasn't even specifically for like one religion. It was like all religions, So.
Ah, really? Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it was probably actually a good way of doing it, I think. So.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Very nice. All right, what's happening in this game? Meanwhile, we have Factory. Oh, he's playing 2-1-1. That's a builder that we don't see very often. And the reason for that is because it sucks. Tell me why it sucks, Wardy.
What, 2-1-1?
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks because Zergs know exactly what to do against it. It's so well figured out. So if you know what's happening, you just build. I think nowadays you can even get to like 49 drones and then defend with like Blink Queen. And that's obviously pretty crazy if you can just defend off 50 drones and then just build like 10 more and then add, have a couple of Balins for the next medevac. Just puts the Zerg in a good position. But I mean, nowadays you see a lot of 2-1-1 after 3cc because then you're not really needing to do as much damage. You have a good economy yourself, so it kind of matches it and you still get that kind of pressure in the same sort of setup. Yeah, I kind of wonder what makes him play it on Blackburn. Maybe he hopes that the initial kind of hidden racks or something scares DRG enough to give him a bit of an edge, maybe? Not sure.
Didn't really seem to have given him anything of an edge. As DRG seems to be pretty well aware of what is happening here. He's barely mining any gas. It's going up to 45 workers right now. 2 more queens, so he will have 7 queens at least ready by the time these 2 medevacs will arrive. Full up is going to be a tech lab here for Bunny, so we'll be seeing a couple of tanks being built as well. And then the question is, will he get a single eBay, double eBay, triple eBay, or a faster command center?
Triple eBay?
Oh, that's not really a thing. I was testing you. 52 workers! Alright.
Okay. I mean, he obviously knows it's Marines as well right now, as he actually started spores in his mineral lines. Does he not quite know what's going on? He doesn't know what's going on.
And a Roach Warren.
I like the Roach Warren to deal with the follow-up, but obviously they're not going to be here for this first push, and building a Roach Warren means you're not going to have as many lings. A little worried for DRG. Usually Zergs still find a way to defend it though, so that's why I'm not completely worried, I guess.
It was 8 more drones as this happening.
Well,
He's absolutely no clue.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he never scouted, right? And he just sort of assumed it was some kind of weird, like, marine factory opening instead of 2 racks. Oh, wow. Bunny's going to get unloaded in the main, which is even better, too, because the queens have to relocate completely. He didn't unload all of his marines right away, though, so that slowed him down a little bit. And now that spore actually is useful, because he can help zone the medevacs with it, so... Wow.
Well, remember when I asked why this build isn't great?
Yeah, I know, right? Like I say, like that's why I said it. It's like the Zergs always find a way to defend it anyway. It's just like, oh yeah, 60 drones, Roach Drone I've not built anything off of. Still droning, by the way.
Yeah. He went up to 60 drones, built like 10 workers, built blind spores because he wasn't quite sure what was happening. When the Roach Warren that couldn't be used, and still defend it without taking any damage. Now, the follow-up might be a little more difficult. There's going to be a tank and 4 more Marines, but I mean, there's 8 queens, there's a bunch of transfuses ready, roach speed on the way, roaches now are being pumped, and there's 68 workers. This is a massive discrepancy in income here between those 2 players.
Yep, Bunny is on a really late 3rd CC because of this, obviously, so he is going to be mining much less during this all, so DRG just needs to hold. He can obviously trade out a little bit while holding. He's even building another spore. He just really wants to zone these medevacs away. It does limit a lot of what Bunny can do here, right? Because he obviously wants to just kind of sit in this main base and kind of work from the corner, but if the spores push your medevacs back, you can't just sit there forever, so it's not even a terrible idea, just a bit funny to see spores being built as the defense right now. We will see one spore that's dropping low, but again, transfused. Now Ravagers are here, so that's a dead siege tank, of course. We'll try to unsiege, but not in time, and that will be Bunny pushed back for the moment, just as another medevac was reinforcing too, so stopped before it became even more problematic.
4 barracks going down at the same time. Oh, he's gonna go for, was it an 8 Rex? A 7 Rex? 7 Rex. Yeah, 7 Rex before 4 CC, before the 3rd CC even landed. He's gonna be getting an armory. Wonder if he's gonna get any reactors on these extra barracks. I doubt it. So he's gonna, I mean, this just is not that great, is it, against roach builds?
No, not really. It's,
You can get Vipers.
Yeah. Vipers? What?
Well, you want to get Vipers against the tanks.
Oh,
no?
yeah. Sorry, I misheard you. I just suddenly heard you say Vipers. I was like, wait, there's Vipers? Oh, this is nice. So you get a few Overlords here, so able to pick up a few of those before leaving. At least Bunny's finding some kind of damages, and 1-1 is going to be done. I mean, he's just on his 3rd base so late still. It's blocked by a Ling until just now. Do you think he... Like, is it possible that these roaches push across and do serious damage? Do you think he's okay with the tanks that he's got?
I think I might just die.
Yeah.
It's funny because last game started with 4 SCVs dying and the barracks, multiple barracks being cancelled. Like the absolute worst start you could have had. And I still think right now DRG is in a better position than last game. Like, he has a gold going for him. He has like a massive army. I'm just really surprised that he wants to go for this once again. Well, actually, am I surprised? There's nothing at home right now. Bunny's actually going to go for, well, not quite a base trade, but a base trade move here. Doesn't really want to defend his 3rd base. He's going to attack instead. Gets a couple of roaches, gets a couple of queens. He's going to get 2 more queens here and will be able to boost out of this. Loses 1 medevac. It's kind of painful.
Yeah, we'll see if DRG ever gets across the map at this rate, because right now it feels like he's just going to keep on chasing these units around, which is exactly what Bunny wants. Anytime he has to buy, you know, build more siege tanks, etc., he's even on his way to bunkers. Is obviously kind of a win in his eyes, so that's what he's on his way to as we do drop behind the gold. Getting a little annoying there. Stopping the most important economy, or the best economy of all for DRG as he drops to the other side. And again, being annoying. I mean, Bunny's defense now is so different to what it was before he attacked, because these couple of bunkers, they're not quite ready, but they're still SimCity. They still eat up a couple of corrosive files. Siege tanks go pretty deep. Will there be enough as he stims in? SCVs were pulled to try and help out any way they can. And I think Bunny pushes it back. Actually only loses like 10 SCVs. He didn't have that many workers on this base, so a massive cleanup from Bunny. And the time he bought made the world of difference.
Yeah, that was 2-3 extra tanks, like you mentioned, the bunkers. A little bit of SimCity and baiting the biles as well, which is probably the most important thing, right? There's a difference between a tank getting like 2-3 more shots in because biles first have to go on top of that bunker. So yeah, it's a very nice defense here for Bunny once again, trying to hang into a game where it looked like he had no business in just 2 minutes ago. Now he's gonna go for a stim. I'm not quite sure if he can trade against this, but maybe he can. There's a bunch of marauders in here as well. More marines will show, or sorry, more roaches will show up. So now he will need to pull back. No 4th CC yet though, so it feels like that even though Bunny had a really good trade, he's still kind of forced into attacking with this. He has those 7 barracks. He's gonna get 2-2. There's not a lot of creep though, Wardy. Is it possible that he just pushes straight up forward and gets something done here? Might be, no?
Yeah, because it's very... If you get into that like position where you're just gonna get like just before the bases, like how do you even flank that as DRG? You don't. You're running into like, you know, you're just running through chokes into the Terran army, so... Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the problem. It's definitely the idea. You get rid of creep tumors at the frontier, so just pushes that creep back a little bit further. It's going to be terrifying, this 2-2 push. So, DRG Might need to think about maybe even a counterattack or something. I like cleaning up these rocks. I even like him just being a bit aggressive. Even if he can just slow down Bunny moving across the map, doesn't seem like a bad idea. I say I like him being aggressive as in taking map control. I don't like it if he actually decides to push in or something here. I think that would obviously be a little bit ludicrous. Bunny's going to be the one to stim into him. Maybe he just wants to bait him into the siege tanks, make him think he should fight into this, and, well, I mean, he shouldn't. He's got a lot of tanks to go up against, and Bunny's getting so much damage done. Once again, the Bio unit's really just delivering so much damage in this fight, and you can just see the Ravages melting now as well. Bunny doesn't even need to push straight across the map with everything to win the game, because DRG just walked into him.
Yep. Yeah, it felt like DRG just all-in into a bit of a semi-all-in here. Bunny's still on 56 workers only. Hive is about to finish. Lurker then is about to finish up. So it's DRG who was getting a lot of things for himself. And Bunny now says, well, I can just actually hit the perfect timing. You just suicided into me. These tanks are moving forward very far though. Very late siege up. They're all clumped up as well. So Biles can hit multiple at the same time. And this fight is a lot better for DRG. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. All of the tanks are going down. Wardy. Is DRG holding?
I mean, the problem is he's only got Ravages left, so even if he's holding, it's an expensive hold because Ravages obviously melt very quickly. And obviously reinforcing Roaches just in a few at a time obviously die very quickly to Marauders. So he holds. I don't know how good of a hold it is, as Bunny's about to get a 4th base up as well. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, at least he is still alive. It was a much better fight. And obviously the biggest part of this, a real reset on the tank count. Only 2 tanks remain from Bunny, and that gives the Roach Ravager army a little bit more hope again, at least, because with so many tanks on the map before, it always felt like any Roach Ravager fight was going to go wrong.
Well, we have a little bit of a Marine Marauder squad without Medivacs going into the natural base here. Goes for the stim. This is a classic Bunny move, by the way. If something feels very risky, it looks risky, and it has almost no reward, I can guarantee you that 9 out of 10 times it's going to be Bunny doing it. As he stimmed forward, then decides to go back. 2 more Medivacs are reinforcing. It wasn't only the tank count that got reset there, by the way. Also the Medivacs got hit by a lot of Biles. Now, once again, a couple of Biles almost connecting. It would be great, actually, for DRG if 1 or 2 of these gold mineral fields finally mine out. So he doesn't need to defend 2 sides with like 35 supply against a single Medivac. It's been very painful. Even during that big attack onto the 3rd base of Bunny, he still had legit 22 supply staying at home, trying to defend his gold-based mineral. So the extra money does come at a price, and it's the price of a lot of Roaches having to defend. It's kind of painful.
Very painful. As a couple more Biles come down, Medivacs dodging away, and you have the Bioforce now aiming around the top side, which is always good, right? Because there's just no creep to the top, and obviously you get behind this gold base, and well, you can deny that gold base from mine. You can obviously deny that gold base from mining out in general, so looks pretty reasonable as he's just going to deny the 5th base as well. So nicely done. He has got the drop into the natural expansion as well, and DRG ain't in position at all. So DRG taking a lot of hits right now, and just as he gets the lurkers and maybe his army composition improves, Viper's out as well. Nice parasitic bombs will get rid of a full Medivac. Just as that happens, it feels like Bunny just gets such a good position army-wise, though, that DRG won't really be able to make much use of this tech.
Still is possible, though. It seems that when DRG gets to his lurkers, he gets really comfortable in the game, which makes it even more surprising that he waits so long to get to them, right? He's been very focused around these roach pushes, but whenever he gets lurkers, it seems like he's in complete control. So I'm a little bit surprised. Once again, he's doing a good job here. He's going to be defending this middle side, even though he is down in supply. He's down in mining at this point as well. It's going to clean up that tank. These lurkers at the top side near the gold will also be able to survive. He still has his 2 Vipers alive, so eventually these tanks are going to get cleaned up as well with a couple of decent abducts. Maybe even wants to use a blinding cloud here and use the roaches. And these fights have been a lot better here for DRG. There's a single Marauder in the main base with 16 kills. Now, I hope not all of these are drones, but it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of those are. He's going to get another Hydra as well. Look at this guy, Wardy. 17 kills on the Marauder,
yeah, I know.
And he's not done yet.
He's been having the time of his life. He's just been there forever. 18, 19. Actually going to kill the full mineral line at this rate, man.
Is this what heaven looks like? Drugs and shooting.
He dies. Poor guy. I mean, he went down an absolute hero. I like that Bunny's added in these Liberators. I think on this map especially, there's so many positions where Liberators can just stop these pushes, and it's so difficult to get the Hydras in range of the Liberators to shut them down. Obviously, that's where Vipers come in and stuff, but if your Vipers are abducting Libs, they're not abducting tanks and stuff, so yeah, I just think this is a nice way to play it, and it's a quick way to go into it as well if you're not quite comfortable getting the Ghost Academy up, then get into Ghosts, especially against what DRG had, because I feel like he already was on a fair amount of Lurkers, so you need like a good Ghost count to start shutting that down.
Yeah. Well, decent abducts there. Look at all these Lurkers dishing out a lot of damage. Oh my god, Bunny's getting absolutely destroyed here.
Yeah,
Holy
but then
crap,
DRG kind of dives forward a little bit too far, right?
Yeah. As I said the word destroyed, he lost 35 supply in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Ooh, little of a move command there. Needs to wait for more Hydras and some more abduct. That looked very promising, and then all of a sudden I guess the Liberators,
yeah.
these guys look like they're on drugs when they're shooting as well. It's absolutely crazy.
The Liberators were MVPs there for sure. They just sat and did so much over time, and he had a little bit of move command forward and stuff. That obviously isn't going to help you either, so that's a bit problematic, as we will see a few Marauders is going to go counterattack. I mean, you saw what one Marauder can do. What can 3 Marauders do? Well, they can run into Lurkers and not do anything, I guess.
Yeah. That is not quite the life. As the medevac also gets cleaned up with the medevac doesn't, but the contents of the medevac will get cleaned up. This gold still isn't mined out, and that is a sad sign of how this game has been going for DRG. He was there very rapid at that gold base, and I think he's been mining off of it for the past 8 to 9 minutes, and it isn't empty yet. So it is a little bit painful right now. Bunny is on 5 bases. He hasn't really needed to fly over an orbital either, and that is one of the signs that it's going okay with the Terran Eco here. +3 is finished as well for him. These Lurkers in the middle of the map might be able to pick up a kill here, but yeah, Bunny is the one in control at this point, and DRG needs to start rebuilding some drones, needs to start re-expanding, and I'm having a very difficult time seeing him win a long macro game here, and it seems like Bunny is the one that's deciding right now, okay, let's just calm this game down. I'm gonna do some harassment, but I'm not going to push out with a big army, because the only way I can truly lose is against a big counterattack.
Yep, a couple of drops on the top side got denied by the parasitic bombs, just kept them alive. This is going to be nice. Just dives in, gets a hatchery, and of course you just lift up and get out of trouble. Lurkers, I don't think hit with anything. Hydras at least get a full medevac, but comes at a cost as DRG hits a few SCVs off the gold base. So good use of the Lurkers on the other side there, but obviously very easily denied by a Liberator moving into position.
Yeah. It's just going to be so hard for DRG, because he's already down 6k in units lost, and the real good units haven't even really entered the field yet.
Yeah.
Like the Ghosts are now coming out, which is really the main counter to the Lurker usually, but the trades have already been going well for Bunny. It's also difficult on this map very often to find good rotations. There is a crap ton of Lurkers. There's still 2 Vipers alive as well, but freaking 9 tanks, 5 Liberators, 3 Ghosts. I'm really loving Bunny's position here. 6th base is being established as well for him, and after this he's going to be taking some of the more neutral bases. Lurkers are moving forward, but this is into a heavily entrenched position here. Bunny loses 2 of the tanks, going to lose a Liberator as well. A couple more tanks going down, and that was good.
Yeah, and another tank that's just rallying around somehow gets away. Yeah, Bunny just has to be very careful. There's so many Lurkers, you have to engage it correctly, and obviously the Vipers can do a lot. This is the weaker part now, though, when your one Viper that's left alive goes back home to get some more energy. So it is just the Lurker movement that you've got on your side. As you'll see, this Liberator will be cleared out, and maybe that gives you a chance to deny the back of the gold base. But of course, there is just a lot of Ghosts coming through, and as that count rises, it becomes more and more difficult for DRG to realistically just utilize these Lurkers effectively, because obviously then the Ghosts just keep doing a lot. These Hydras push into the Liberator, which just doesn't go well. 1 Lib for what? 4 or 5 Hydras? It was expensive.
Yeah, that's not it. Lurker's gonna go down as well, as DRG wasn't quick enough with the Unburrow. He's gonna send over 5 Lurkers to try and help out at that gold base. Yeah, there's going to need to be some major mining denial, and he is trying to do that. But every time he walks away, these Ghosts are going to get their snipes in, and you're just going to lose 1 to 2 Lurkers. DRG just doesn't really have the money to replenish that. He's on 54 workers. He's trying to take his 6th base at this point, but really what he needs is he needs to deny the topside base, and he needs to deny the gold from mining. I don't think he can kill that. But if these 2 things don't happen in the next 30 seconds, I think the money for Bunny is... It already is too high. The bank is already too big. The army supply is already too high as well. This is looking very, very bad for the Korean Zerg right here.
Yeah, it's looking rough. A few more snipes coming down here and there. A couple of SCVs are going down on that gold with the Lurkers behind it. So that's going pretty well, as we do have At least the gold-based mining denied, but that's about it. As some ghosts. I mean, they were really off on a journey on the left side, and yet they can still just pull back and maybe make it somewhat okay. They are going to kind of collect back together. I mean, just kind of shows how much Bunny has. He can stretch all the way and wrap around this army. And like I say, still kind of, be substantially everywhere, it feels like.
Yeah. Two lurkers going to make their way onto that top side, but will be met by a couple of tank shells. Don't think they'll be able to survive for too long here, especially if Bunny starts paying attention. Good scan in the middle of the map, and yeah, DRG is just bleeding out supply. Every time he unburrows, these ghosts come in, they snipe. GG gets called, DRG knows, Bunny knows, we know. The score is 1-1, and we'll be heading into game 5. Watchtowers have been utilized in an okay way. They actually add something to the map rather than just completely kill the game. Impressive. Impressive map design. Alright, in the bottom left, spawning as the red Terran player, playing for Team NV, is going to be a Bunny.
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 Bunny. And in the top.
And in the top right, spawning as the Blues, also playing for Team NV, it's going to be Don Ray Gu. Fantastic.
I'm now forever going to call Bunny Bunny.
As you should. Did you see what I did there with the second introduction? In Dutch we would say, I ate the cheese of your bread, you know? You were getting ready for that nice cheese sandwich, and I just, pop, stole the cheese from in between the two sides of the sandwich. Yeah.
That's okay.
I ate the cheese of your bread, Wardy. Remember that, all right?
Now I have the bread to have something better than a cheese sandwich with, though, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I'm the winner.
Oh.
He ate
Nothing interesting happening
bread
so far.
Nope, super standard for 2,000 atmospheres. It's pretty cool. Obviously, winner of this plays solo to get the chance to qualify, but I imagine we'll see most of these guys in the American qualifier in a couple of days. Some of them might even be crazy enough to try the European qualifier tonight and tomorrow, so it'll be it'll be interesting to see kind of who shows up where, because sometimes players just say, no, it's not worth it, but I imagine a lot of the Koreans at least will be in NA at the very least.
Yeah, maybe not in Europe. It's a little bit close as well to this qualifier, right? They're gonna be tired. They need some time to adjust, because the NA one starts tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the NA one starts tomorrow, like after the EU one. It's like lined up, so it's like yesterday was just Korea, today's Korea EU, and tomorrow's EU NA, and then the day after is just NA.
Yeah, I like the way it's set up actually.
Well, it makes sense, right? Because last year they had the problem of like one qualifier wasn't fully finised when the other one started, and then people qualified and it screwed up the brackets,
the bracket
right?
was ruined.
Yeah.
I do remember that. It was very hilarious. It actually helped me a lot as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you made it to ASUS last year, right? And it was you had those sick games. Did you play Mario? It was really sick.
Yeah, I play Mario. I should have beaten him 5-0, but I lost 3-2. Very sad.
Yeah. That was
the best.
I was talking about this tournament the other day. I was like, ASUS was like a tournament that was just blessed with like really good series last year.
Several Beyond series. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That game on Romanticide was like, 45 minutes slugfest. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe it was on Romanticide as well. Like, we still have this map in the map pool. And ASUS ROG is back again.
Yeah, we haven't had a map pool change in a while. I wonder what's up with that.
It's just because the TLMC was out of sync, right? Because obviously, like, we missed the TLMC, and then they finally updated the maps of maps we had left, but the new TLMC obviously just didn't happen in time for the new season. But now that it's all organized, it should be like, once we get new maps, there'll be a new TLMC again, and it just should rotate better, so.
Nice. You love to hear it. Oh, boof. There's a nice little hit there.
I'm somehow falling to an SCV star. I thought I was following the Reaper, but I'm just not.
Look at this. Viking Marauder. Now we're talking. This is the type of build I like. So he's going to be going into a medevac behind this and go for a Hellbat Marauder attack. And I think these attacks tend to be pretty okay. They tend to be pretty decent. The only problem with them is if they walk into too many queens and like half a baneling, it can get very tricky. Just in general, queens do tend to beat this, no? But do you need like secondary tech as a Zerg, like a baneling nest or a roach warren?
I feel like it's very tough just because the Marauders are really... Like, the Marauders are a game changer, right? Because they can slow those queens. And that just takes away so much potential off the queen. So I feel like as long as Bunny is very decisive here, and that's usually the biggest issue. The Terran's like, wait, do I want to go here? Do I want to go there? And they run around a lot, and then you clean it up with Queen Ling. I do worry a lot if he doesn't have anything extra, though, with the Marauder variation.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to pick up the third Marauder as well, and here we are going to go. It's going to be freaking 9 queens, though, by the time he arrives. How many transfuses do we have, Wardy? You said you don't need the game art no more, so you can do the counting. I count a single transfuse, a second transfuse. Okay, we have 2 transfuses. Am I correct?
Yeah, these queens need to get together as well, though, right? Because if they're separate, that's not good, but they do just about collect together. So here we go. Lings on the right side will not find a chance to fight just yet, as we do see them moving in now. Obviously, they want to try and get the Marauders, really. They don't want to surround the Hellbats, because then they take bonus damage. You can already just see that these queens are just standing and fighting way more than they usually would, though, right? Like, usually they'd be kiting a little bit more, trying to move back a bit. It's going to be a defense, but still an expensive one, right? A couple more Hellions show up. The Marauders are still alive. You should be able to get a couple more queens before this is truly done. Backs away there, and I feel like, okay, you preserve units, but maybe you could have got 1 or 2 more queens. I guess the preserving of units is good. Yeah, okay, good defense from DRG. Like, he had the queens in the right position. I think that's the most important thing. I almost would have liked Bunny to maybe go from the left side instead of, like, in the middle of everything, because it felt like he was in the middle, but still away from the bases, so like the reinforcements came in from everywhere really easily.
Yeah, and you kind of get automatically surrounded.
Yep.
Oh, nice little run by here out of DRG. There's not a whole lot here to actually DPS this down, and he might also catch some of the units coming back. The Hellbats will just run back in Hellbat form. I don't mind that completely. Spire is going to be the decision here for DRG. Look at the gas. Look how he's mining. Look at his third base. This is ridiculous. He has 7 workers on minerals, 6 on gas. He's gonna have no money whatsoever, and he's just rushing out a massive Mutalisk count. This is a pretty decently sized risk because you're cutting some eco, but it also means that if Bunny isn't ready for this, these 12, 13 Mutas can just instantly end the game.
Yep, especially if Bunny's like, right, time for my follow attack with like Stim or something. And then it's just like, uh-oh, hang on. I just, like, there's so many mutas, you get overwhelmed. You just never recover from that. So, like you say, a very risky play, but one with a lot of potential. We'll just see Bunny still move around with this Hellbat Marauder force being surprisingly effective. But that ain't finding out about mutas, so 10 mutas start up right away. Obviously, we'll have a lot of gas income, so the extra few mutas can trail in very easily behind this, too.
And the gang of renegades still going strong around it. Even gonna get a couple more tumors here. 2 more tumors, not bad. Might want to go for another queen as well. Viking is gonna show up to complete this combination that we'll never see again in our life. Hellbat Marauder Viking. The first mutas are out though, Barty. This is trouble, isn't it? 10 Mutalisk. How many workers can they get?
I mean, okay, they're gonna fly and get a bunch of workers, but can...
How many?
Okay,
How many?
Yeah, they're gonna
How many workers?
13.
19.
19?
19.
I think 13.
19 workers.
They're gonna get a few right away. I mean, Bunny has some Marines around. He's obviously gonna counterattack, so it depends when DRG wants to pull the mutas back, if he's confident defending without the mutas or not. You're gonna win this bet, aren't you?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Nice. By the way, win your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel?
15?
Oh, I win. Nice. Let's go.
Now you get my YouTube channel.
I'll take it. Hey, you made that you made that bet at the wrong time, didn't you?
Oh no. Well, we still have time. As long as the thing doesn't 50.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Rip.
GG's. I'll see you on youtube.com/Harstem later, guys.
Alright, 11 more Mutalisk are, or sorry, 1 more Muta is on the way out. So it's going to be 12 Mutalisk. That was a difficult sentence for me to get out. We have 1-1 starting as well, 10 more drones. This is a fantastic start here for Dongregu once again. And I think with Mutalisk very often, if you are ahead, it's a little bit harder to throw than it is with Roaches, right? Because the Terran can't just sit back and do nothing. Because you're just going to get Banelings thrown in your face again and again and again and again. Yep. There's no fort base on the way yet. Is there a second factory yet? There's no second factory. And he continues building tanks. Like, where's the future in Bunny for this game? I don't see it.
I think it's in the F10N button combination. It's not pretty. I mean, he's got an upgrade lead, and that's about it. He has to take like a really good fight, you know, somewhat in part thanks to the upgrades, and then start dealing some damage or something, because The rest of this is just not well set up. I mean, second factory starts now and a fourth base. But yeah, like you say, it's not just oh yeah, I'll get the fourth base and I'll just sit back and chill and I'll recover. Because, like you say, banelings will be thrown at you consistently. There's just so much more you can do throughout here as DRG. So, like it a lot more. I feel like he's always better playing Lingbane Muta too. So, yeah, very concerned for Bunny. Let's see if the upgrade difference can make anything happen in some of these fights as he sets up with this huge tank push up the top. This attack must find some damage.
Yeah, this is a nice position as well, honestly. I think he's going to be able to get the 5th base. DRG was a little bit late with the realization that he could have also just counterattacked a bit faster. And he's not very decisive. He kind of went back here, maybe wants to take down the rocks. No, he wants to clean up the tanks here. He is going to get them. Beautiful maneuver out of DRG, pretending to counterattack, then just going for the free cleanup on the tanks, but he still lost the 5th base. I think this was worth it though, right, for DRG. He had the 4th base going. It's not like he was on 85 workers. He was 73. He has a good Mutalis count at 22. He has +2 on the way. Hive is starting and plenty of banelings around as well. 5 are done and 17 more on the way, so we're going up to 22. The only thing I'm a little bit afraid of, Wardy, is that lack of 2-2 here.
Yes, the upgrades are definitely still going to be Bunny's best friend, but he needs to stabilize against the mutas, and while upgrades help with that a little bit, DRG isn't exactly held back by missing upgrades here, as we're going to be seeing these mutas flying through, a couple turrets taking hits, but they don't die. We'll get a few more SCVs in the corner. Bunny is meanwhile dropping what he can at least. I mean, a Spore Crawler there helped to zone the medevacs out. That could have been an annoying drop otherwise. Of course, now you know that these medevacs are up there, and guess what the mutas are going to go and kill? Well, probably those medevacs, but he actually turns around, finishes off the Marine on the tower, so the medevacs get away. I feel like that's fortunate for Bunny. I mean, as it stands, at least it's 4 base against 4 base. Bunny's not quite got his 4th base up and rolling yet, but he'll get that soon, and DRG only has 68 drones. So it's not like he's, you know, a lot of the time, if this happens, it feels like the Zerg is on like 80 workers, and then they have a massive bank, they're maxed out, they're on Hive Tech. DRG doesn't quite have all of that, and that's where Bunny's hope will lie, in that he still is just one good fight away from DRG being in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, not even a great fight. It's really just a good fight. This is 4 base against 4 base. Bunny right now is mining slightly more. There is 8 barracks production, or, well, there's almost 8 barracks production. 7.5 barracks production for Bunny right now. And he's going for a push. Also, let's not forget that there's almost no creep spread really outside of the 4th base, or was this no, this was the 4th base, right? Yeah, that we're looking at right now. Yeah, that's the 4th. How many mines is there in this army? I don't think that's enough mines.
6, 1 Thor, which is actually already being surrounded. Needs to lift that Thor up. It's that kind of important. It's low HP already. It's nice if that Thor can tank and get a few shots off on the mutas at the same time, but now it's just low HP, so it's going to have to sit in the back and just takes away some of his potential utility. Big counterattack from DRG once again. Bunny has got some Widow Mines to initially set up, but the other 2 aren't burrowed, and the depot raise is not good enough as well, so Lings will run towards the natural. A lot of Banes into the 3rd mineral line too, and there's just no stopping that from Bunny. I mean, he could have pulled the SCVs, of course, but yeah, more Banes into the natural, and he's going to take a lot of damage here, and his army isn't really making much progress across the map. A Thor kills an Extractor, and then gets cleaned up.
Yeah, that's not a great trade.
No, it's not.
Generally not great. 2-2 is also about to finish up, and I think that's really what DRG was waiting for over here. We will try to clean up. I mean, there's not enough mines to really secure this position. There's not enough real splash. Now them just go across the map? Holy crap. And that was almost the last thing that a bunch of them did. I think 2 or 3 did go down. 17 almost went down, and that might be the bigger story there. +2 melee attacks is about to finish up. We have the Lurker then on the way, so it's going to go into Lurkers once again. I'm not sure what I think of this, is because Bunny is already so all in here. He's on 51 workers. I wouldn't just mind an Ultra or just going into those 3-3 ground upgrades rather than trying to transition into Lurker.
Yeah, I feel like the Lurkers just put you in a very difficult position for a lot longer than just... Because if you go Ultras, right, it's just a very natural transition through, and they just sort of arrive, and then the town's like, oh crap. The Lurkers will just take a little time. They don't have their upgrades right away. You're going to lose a base now as well. Okay, you've got the top left to work with. Once again, the creep is obviously really just not great around the map as well for DRG, and that's been a problem all series long. As Bunny is going to have a lot of Marines off creep. They need to actually stim, though. Now going to split even further, and that's not a fight DRG can keep on taking. Has to back off from this. Now has some Lurkers, but again, might be difficult to actually get them into play.
Yeah, one of the funniest things that always happens is... at this point, Bunny still isn't producing any more SCVs, but it wouldn't surprise me if he takes another good fight that he'll start believing in the macro game again, you know?
Yeah.
We'll see 7 more SCVs on the way. This is something that happens quite often with Terrans, where they're like, no use building SCVs, I want to maximize the amount of units that I have. This fight wasn't great, very solid cleanup here out of DRG. We have 5 lurkers, I want to say they're on hold fire on the left side. And they're a little bit better than the Baneling mine. I can assure you that, Wardy.
Yeah, they're going to be really good if an army moved up, but it never came, so he's just going to move the lurkers in for a fight instead. And he's going to burrow up now, but he doesn't have the detection to get rid of the mines or anything. He will now have everything else coming this way, though, so the lurkers will be joined by everything else. But Bunny has a massive counterattack again. Obviously, he's about to maybe take a whole bunch of damage too, though, so this works in 2 ways.
Yeah. The problem is that once there's lurkers in position, you're just gonna need a lot of protection, and there's no way to attack these lurkers from a distance here. There's no tanks in this army whatsoever. There's a single Thor, but it's not known to be great against lurkers. Lurkers will stay aggressively, Banelings and Lynx will come back, and I think DRG this time around will be able to clean up this army, and I think with this cleanup it's going to get really tricky here for Bunny to do anything. His 3rd base needs to live. The lurkers dishing out a bunch of damage on those depots, 10 SCVs going down once again, and even though DRG has a very low worker count and a couple of mines are going to... Oh my god. That was going to be a huge hit, but just turned out into a mediocre hit. 53 workers for DRG. If Bunny can stabilize, if Bunny can not die here, there is still a possibility, because there's almost no mining whatsoever here for DRG. The problem is that there's freaking 14 lurkers at this point. And now I guess we see the real power of the lurker, where the lurker is a lot better than the Ultralisk.
Yeah, the lurkers, yeah, just GG from Bunny. The lurkers really are that unit which it takes a bit longer and it's a bit riskier to get to. Obviously, once it's there, it really